I've wasted years chasing the wrong things. I know how that feels, and I know how that ends. You can see it in the eyes of your elders. They give advice, but you can tell they're still not at peace. They still feel empty. They're still trying to escape. They still need distractions just to get through the day. I don't have it all figured out, but I do know I don't want to end up like that. So here's the path I'm on now. Pleasure now and pain later, or pain now and pleasure later. Most choose the first option and keep choosing the first option. They choose pleasure now. When the pain eventually catches up, they choose pleasure again. It keeps them trapped in the short term. They want to build for tomorrow, but they can't because their mind is focused on numbing the pain today. It kills their potential. We are wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. In the wild, that's what helps us survive. But we don't live in that environment anymore. Our basic needs are met. Survival is no longer an issue. I'm sure you've heard the phrase, hard times create hard men create easy times create weak men. We live in easy times, but that doesn't mean we have to be weak. If we can bypass our impulses, we can use these easy times to our advantage. The answer is to choose pain, choose hardship, choose struggle. Not meaningless pain though, but pain that leads to growth. Like choosing the bench over the sofa. Pain is simply the price of building, and it's a price worth paying. It's the people who are willing to pay that price that will build the future. Everyone else will be left in the past. The comfort zone is a cage. Most choose not to leave, but they still want to feel something. So they reach for escapes, like social media, TV shows, YouTube, even music. They live through content rather than living themselves. They experience life through a screen. It's low effort, low risk, but also low reward. It'll take your mind somewhere else for a little while, but when you eventually look up, you'll still feel empty. It's fear holding you back, fear of the unknown. It has you missing opportunities, limiting your growth. And that just leads to a life half lived. As Lewis Carroll said, in the end, we only regret the chances we didn't take, the relationships we were afraid to have, the decisions we waited too long to make. That's what happens when you keep choosing escape. The alternative is experience. If you want to do something, do it. If an opportunity presents itself, take it and see it through to the end. Failure will always be a risk, but it's usually worse in your head. Most of the time, you'll learn a lesson. The very worst case is death, but that's coming for you anyway. Either you live fully up until that point, or you didn't. Most think their 20s are for fun, and that's how they waste them. Rosters, parties, holidays. They're chasing happiness, an emotion that's short lived, a feeling that fades. So they never feel satisfied. They stay stuck running on the hedonistic treadmill like a hamster on a wheel. Moving, but going nowhere that matters. The feeling that we're all chasing is fulfillment, being content, at peace, not having a hole to fill. That doesn't come from comfort, it comes from pursuit. And you could technically pursue anything, but the quicker you achieve it, the faster that feeling fades. And generally, whatever's easier to obtain isn't even worth obtaining. Like, how long does that new car feeling last? Within a week, it's normal. And then you feel empty again. And then you're on to chasing the next. The solution is purpose, a lifelong pursuit. That's why religious people are generally more content. Because they're pursuing something, whether that's heaven or enlightenment, until the day they die. Maybe that's for you, maybe it's not. But you need to find something that's worth living for. something that gives your life direction. You can still party and travel if you want, but you don't feel like you need it because you're already content. People will do anything for validation. They optimize for it. They say things they don't mean, buy things they don't want, do things they don't like. They start to feel a gap between who they know they are and who they show the world. Then that gap makes them chase even more validation, which only makes that gap even bigger. We lived in tribes, we're social creatures, and back then, being disliked meant getting kicked out of the group. It meant being alone, and being alone meant death. And that instinct is still in us today. It's why we try so hard to be liked. It's why being alone hurts. It's why we seek validation from others. We still have to play that game, the social game, but now we have to play it smart. Instead of chasing everyone else's approval, win your own. Live by your own values. Say what you mean. Do what you want. You become a magnet, pushing people away, but also drawing the right people in. You'll end up with more people around, people that actually get you. And all you did was become more authentic. Social media makes us anxious. It's built on competition and comparison. All it's about is get more, be more, and do more. We chase outcomes and ignore the process. It also feels shallow. A life of accumulating items just to get more likes. The Bhagavad Gita said that selfish desire leads to attachment, and attachment leads to fear and anger. We focus on what's missing and we feel behind. In essence, wanting more for ourselves makes us feel worse. Selflessness has the opposite effect. When you let go of selfish cravings, your mind becomes still, you become grounded. Then serving others gives your life purpose. That might mean taking care of your family or using social media to be a positive influence, not to impress. And when you give without expecting a return, you'll find that other people will often give back. Let me round this off with the ideal. Have a selfless purpose. Live by your values. Pursue them even when it's hard. Do that and you'll live a life worth living.